The Distortion. As previously mentioned, our economy has been in trouble since 2000 and in significant trouble since 2008. Who knows when the phony statistics began? All that we know is that they were in full effect for 2020. So we know now that things have not been what they seem for at least 12 years, maybe more. We know our country has had a production problem for way too long. Never in our history has our economy been in such dire straits. Our weekly new jobless claims have been between 700,000 and 1 million for 44 weeks straight. The worst single previous was set 1 week in the 80s at 695,000, followed by the 08 crisis with 650,000 for a week. We could stop right there and prove we are in serious depression. But let's add to it. Over 100,000 restaurants are permanently gone in less than a year. Hotels are dropping like flies, along with their surrounding services. Mass transit, for whatever reason, is still running with only a few passengers. Airlines continue to get bailed out, whether they lay people off or not. Then they buy back their own stock. Real estate is in a race to the bottom between residential and commercial. Commercial will hold on the longest, even with empty buildings and dying malls, since backed by large groups. Residential is near the same type of pricing bubble it was in, exacerbating the 2008 crisis. With the eviction moratoriums and forbearances waiting to do their impending damages. And what's the deal with lumber prices? 3 times higher than normal? Try building at those prices. Meanwhile, the banks are not lending and have tightened the standards to where financial perfection is required for a loan. The debt market is a monster bubble that's even bigger than the stock market bubble, that is off the charts and the largest in history now. Our GDP has cratered, our national debt is now unpayable, and even the interest on it is unsustainable. All while the deceptive job numbers show 6.7% unemployment, because it's selective due to aspects that make that percentage. Those that don't qualify, those that have exhausted benefits, those that go over to emergency benefits, so on, etc., etc., etc. The point is, we were way overdue for our economic collapse, and the -19 was the ideal scapegoat. But instead of letting things run their course, they've decided to paper over the problem one more time, only this time it's permanent, and really has been since 2008. The digital currency infusion has been in full effect behind the scenes since then. They're projecting the continuance of the infusion through 2023, when they should simply say it's for infinity. That's obviously not a sustainable path. That's why the reset is in play and digital currency is imminent. Our economy either dies a slow and painful death of digital infusion, or they scrap it and start all over with a new system. We have 3 major groups with plans ready to be implemented for the Great Reset. The World Economic Forum, the International Monetary Fund, the Council for Inclusive Capitalism, teamed up with the Vatican. All of them and their agendas have a cozy place for you somewhere near the bottom. Underneath a mountain of Green New Deals, socialistic ideas, and a utopian new world order. As if our current situation couldn't get any more ideal for their agendas. Our leaders will continue to soften us up to it until we're begging for it. They will not be satisfied with moving forward the introduction until they have a majority of the population on its knees. I'm sure all of their civil unrest scenario predictive data is telling them. Can't have a civilian war or insurrection in the middle of their switch to the full socialistic utopia. It's well on its way to fruition, as we are veiled by all the statistical illusions. Will this predicted dark winter lead us to the delusion of greener pastures in the elitist meadows of the new governance? Will the sheep be led astray without a whisper, without a fear, without flight or fight? Will poverty, hunger, and shelter cause us to bend the knee to our oppressors? Or will it require something more sinister? Another event or events to convince us to give up our rights, liberties, and freedoms? While quietly in the background, history and data are being rewritten in favor of the agenda? Will you go willingly? Will you even notice? Or will you embrace it? Compliance and dependency are the beginnings, both of which require a mark or a chip or an account number as proof of acceptance. What will you do amidst despair? At least now you won't be completely unaware. Please share. Thanks for watching. Pray.